Hey guys, my name is Marcus Wabshall. I'm an immigration attorney and I'm the founding attorney of Veritas Immigration Law, which is an immigration-only law firm located in Southern Florida. In this video, I want to talk specifically to people who have a 2-year green card. I want to give you some really important information that a lot of people screw up, and it ends up causing major problems for maintaining their residency and getting their eventual U.S. citizenship. If you don't get this process right that I'm going to talk about, I literally see it land people in deportation proceedings, and people can lose their residency and they can lose their rights to U.S. citizenship. So I really want you guys to pay attention and watch this video to the end so you get all the important information that you need and you don't miss anything that's important for you to maintain your U.S. residency. Okay, so if you received your green card based on marriage to a U.S. citizen, and your marriage was less than 2 years old at the time that your green card was issued, the Immigration Service probably sent you a 2-year green card. And if this is your situation, it means that you actually have to submit an additional application prior to the expiration of your 2-year green card. The rule is that you have to actually file this additional application called an I-751, removal of conditions, to actually remove that 2-year condition off of your green card so that you can get the full 10-year permanent green card. So let's say, for example, that you have a green card and it expires on January 1st. So the rule is that you need to file your removal of conditions application within the 90 days leading up to the expiration of your green card. So take the example, if your green card expires on January 1st, that means that you just want to count backwards 90 days, which would be October 1st, and that represents the first day that you can go ahead and file for your removal of conditions. Okay, so you can start on October 1st, that would be the first day, and the last day that you could file for your removal of conditions, your deadline would be January 1st. So anytime in between those two dates, you can go ahead and in fact, you need to go ahead and file for your removal of conditions. Okay, so the purpose of the removal of conditions is just to show the Immigration Service that you are still married to your U.S. citizen spouse and that your marriage is still bona fide and it's still intact. And when you do this, this is called a joint I-751. And it's similar to the process that you went through when you got your original green card. So when you applied for your original green card, certainly you had to include evidence of your marriage and your relationship, right? So if you remember, you probably had to submit evidence of your, just proof that you're living together, photos of you guys together, and just all kinds of marital evidence to show that your marriage was bona fide. And because of that, the Immigration Service approved your green card. So when you're going through the removal of conditions process, you basically are going to do the same thing all over again. You're going to include all that same evidence that you submitted the first time, but you also want to include updated evidence to show the Immigration Service that your relationship continues to be bona fide. Okay, so that is called a joint I-751. Now, if you, for some reason, are not married to that same U.S. citizen spouse through which you got your green card, you still have to file for the removal of conditions, okay? But you have to do it by yourself. And so if this is your situation, this is a much more sophisticated and critical moment in your residence, because the Immigration Service is going to be automatically suspicious that your marriage was not bona fide, okay? So it's basically going to give them an additional chance to scrutinize your residence. So if you are filing a solo I-751, you need to be very careful, and I highly recommend that you work with an attorney, an immigration attorney, to do this. Because in this type of situation, you need to include a lot of very specific types of evidence to make sure that USCIS will approve your solo I-51. If you don't do this right, it's going to get denied, and you're just one step away from being put into deportation proceedings. I've seen it happen to people in the past who didn't really take this process seriously. So right now, USCIS is like severely backlogged in how they process these I-751 applications. They're basically somewhere between like 2 and 4 years backlogged. And so that sounds kind of insane, but the way that it works right now is once you file your I-751, the Immigration Service will they'll just automatically send you a receipt notice in response to your application that will automatically extend your green card for 48 months. Okay, that's 4 years, which is just an indication of how backlogged they are. Okay, so they'll automatically send you that extension notice, and it will extend your residence from 4 years after the date of your green card expiration. Okay, so if your green card expires on January 1st, 2024, then that notice will extend your green card to January 1st, 2028. So that means that you will carry your expired green card and this extension notice with you everywhere that you go, in case, if you have to travel or if you need to show proof of your status. Those are the two documents that you will use to show proof of your status. During those 4 years, it's likely that you'll actually become eligible for U.S. citizenship. So in that case, you're still going to go ahead and file the Form N-400, which is the application for citizenship, and you'll just have 2 applications pending with the Immigration Service at the same time. And that's normal, and that actually happens to a lot of people. I won't get into too much detail about the citizenship process. That's a separate topic, but I just want to let you guys know that if your removal of conditions is pending, it's likely that you will become eligible for citizenship before that application is decided. And so if that's the case, you should just go ahead and apply for citizenship. Part of the issue with removal of conditions is that many people never realize that they even need to file for it, because immigration doesn't send you a reminder. They don't, send you a letter or something to tell you, hey, you got to apply for your removal of conditions now. You've only got 90 days to do it. It's something that you just need to know that you have to do it. And hopefully you have a good immigration attorney who's working with you. If you do, that attorney should be updating you and letting you know that it is time, or you're getting close to the time when you need to file for your removal of conditions. If for some reason you forget to do it and you need to file it late, some people, their green card is already expired and they realize that they never filed for removal of conditions. And if that's the situation that you're in, obviously that's not ideal. But thankfully, the Immigration Service is pretty lenient and pretty forgiving if you have some kind of reasonable excuse for why you didn't file the removal of conditions on time. And most of the time, if you file it late, they'll go ahead and adjudicate it like normal. And in fact, I've had a lot of people contact us who are in that situation, and we just got the removal of conditions on file as quickly as possible, and it ended up not being a big deal at all. Okay, but that's not the ideal situation you want to be in. You want to get it on file within that 90-day period before your green card expires. Okay, so leading up to the 2-year anniversary of your green card, you got to get that I-751 on file. So I'm going to stop the video here, but I want to encourage you guys to take the removal of conditions process seriously. So if you do have a 2-year green card, make sure you get that removal of conditions filed. And if you have any questions or concerns about that process, please reach out to us to make sure that it's being done properly.